Taking action, the last but not final stage of the inquiry cycle. You may be wondering what is meant by the term taking action. To understand what is meant by the term taking action, we first need to take a quick glance at the inquiry cycle of learning as a whole. This is a diagram of the Cath-Murdoch inquiry cycle, which is used to inform and guide the planning and practice of many IB teachers, including myself. I won't take much time to explain the inquiry cycle as a whole, but encourage you to do more research on it at home if you have further questions. IB teachers start their inquiries at the tuning in stage. This is where we find out what the children think they already know about the central idea. It is a first invitation to start wondering and questioning the topic, and an opportunity to reflect on the purpose of the inquiry. Then we move to the finding out stage, where the children start to acquire new knowledge on the topic and are acting as researchers to gather information. Next, the class will move into the sorting out stage of the inquiry. This is where the students begin to look for patterns, make meaning, and express new understandings. Afterwards is the going further stage of the inquiry. Here, the children start to expand and personalize their understandings through the pursuit of a more individual or group investigation. In the making conclusions phase of an inquiry, children examine what they have come to understand about the central idea, decide if there are any questions left unanswered, and reflect on how their thinking has changed over the course of their learning. Lastly comes the taking action stage of an inquiry, a phase often overlooked. Taking action is arguably the most important way a student can demonstrate their learning. A student takes action when they apply new learning, extend their learning, and make a change. Within this phase of learning, they share their knowledge with others and they apply it to new contexts. When I first began teaching with the IB framework, it was my understanding that taking action essentially meant wrapping up the unit of inquiry with some big culminating project. I thought of things such as children hosting a bake sale to raise money for a cause they had learned about, or participating in a science fair to showcase a science experiment. Taking action and the important weight it carries, however, far exceeds these common learning projects. From my research and my time teaching in an IB school, I have come to realize 3 things about taking action that I want to share with you today. The first is that taking action comes in an abundance of forms. The next thing is that taking action is completely child-initiated. And lastly, taking action is spontaneous. I will start first with the idea that taking action comes in various forms and in fact does not have to be a big labor-intensive project at all. In fact, you might notice it in a very simple or organic form, and here are but just a few examples. Perhaps your child has had a shift in their behavior. Maybe they're acting more patiently or more respectfully. Maybe you've noticed a change in a child's feelings. Have they seemed more excited about something or inspired by an idea? Or maybe they have started to worry about something new that they hadn't worried about before. Has a child done something differently, helped more with something, given up on something else? Has a student's thinking developed? Have they started to inquire more into something or change their mind about a different topic? Has the child shown more of something? Perhaps more independence, more focus, more kindness? Has your child said something new, explained something to a friend, a peer, a sibling, debated a topic, maybe thanked someone? These are all just a few examples of how taking action can manifest in your child. The next idea is that taking action in the IB should be student initiated. This means the action that the child chooses to take shouldn't come as a result from someone else. It shouldn't come as a result of an assignment a teacher gives or because of prompting from a parent. It should be something a child chooses to partake in on their own accord. This continuum of voice chart highlights this idea well. Offering their ideas and expressing their opinions can be looked at as an entry point into the taking action realm, but is usually a result of questioning by someone external. Moving up the ladder, a child might start to feel more confident to partake in those ideas they had initially expressed. And, in some of the highest forms of taking action, children will start to advocate for change or take on a leadership role by making decisions and plans of their own, and further try to guide others in making a change as well. Lastly, as you can see from the examples of taking action, actions can be quite small in scale, and the concept of action is not a product, but more of a shift in a student's state of mind. A shift, that is, in the way a child is speaking, behaving, relating, and acting. In reviewing the examples, these actions don't just happen at the end of a unit of inquiry, like I had previously thought. They are ongoing and can occur both in and outside of the classroom. These actions are happening all of the time, at the start of new inquiries, during inquiries, and even long after the formal unit of inquiry with their class has ended. Actions don't occur in any sequential order, and instead simply when a child's learning has deepened and they are ready to demonstrate that. So why is it important for parents to know about taking action? The reason that parents should know about taking action is that these actions are often being taken outside the classroom, where children have more uninterrupted and independent time to experiment. With these actions happening in the children's external environment, the teacher may miss opportunities to see these shifts that the students have made. This slideshow was created with the purpose to teach parents about what taking action is so that they are better able to recognize when these types of learnings may be occurring and further support them. It was also created with the intention to bridge once more the gap between school and home. You may be wondering now, as a parent, how can you support your child in taking action? While a parent may not be able to directly teach a child to take action, as previously stated, it must come from a child themselves, a parent can choose to take actions themselves by putting on one more hat and shifting their role to one of a keen observer. When a parent recognizes their child engaged in this deep type of learning, there are a few things that they should do. Parents can use positive, reinforcing language to praise their child for taking such initiative in their learning. A parent can take a keen interest in the actions their child is taking by asking their child to explain what they are doing and by listening attentively. And lastly, a parent can ask their child meaningful questions about the actions they are taking and the choices they are making to further extend these actions. All of this will further encourage their child to be independent, take initiative, and experiment in different types of action. Taking action can happen at any age and at any time. It is our role as parents, educators, and community to support children in gaining the skills and knowledge to take sustained and meaningful action and to see themselves as agents of change.